Today I'm going to be very controversial. I want to talk about the significance of sports and music in the development of a nation. Yeah, this discussion was kind of triggered with by a friend of mine who was arguing that the newly elected president of Kenya needed to invest heavily on sports as one of the ways of encouraging economic development in the country. Um, my argument is that no country is known to have developed on the basis of investing heavily on leisure activities like sports and even music. As much as these are talents, they are never the core of development of a nation. They are not even skills that um, are superior above other skills like analytical thinking, writing, speaking. Most countries that succeed in sports, except for a few, seem to have succeeded in other areas before they succeed in sports. They seem to have prospered economically before they can succeed in sports. If you look at World Cup, for example, whenever countries go for World Cup competition, we know very well that the countries that are likely to win the World Cup would be from developed countries that will include France, England, Germany, just a few countries that are not from developed countries who would be expected to win. That is a country like perhaps Brazil or Egypt. If you go to the Olympics, most of the gold medals are won by countries that have already prospered economically. The United States will take a huge chunk of the gold medals, followed by China. So, in the histories of these countries, we are never told that they invested heavily on sports for them to be where they are. But sports being leisure is something that they invested in once they had put in the work to grow their countries economically. They had first invested heavily on education, heavily on proper systems of governance, heavily on agriculture, industrialization, and sports merely came later as a side effect. Or having succeeded economically, they had more spending power to be able to invest on sports. People who own clubs, for example, the European clubs, as a business. Mostly they are individuals who the sports club itself is not their core business. They have been known to be doing other businesses for many years, and sports just becomes an additional investment. What about at an individual, at a family level? Would I encourage my children to focus on sports more than they would focus on perhaps gaining knowledge in things like finance, in having a career, for example, in law or medicine, and engage more or less on careers like sports and music? No. The reason why I will discourage them, or I would rather not allow those abilities mask the need for them to learn very vital skills that they need to be able to live in society, or even learn a career, what I call a proper career, is because, for example, sports is very short term. As much as we know people who have made billions of money in sports, sports is very short term. It can only be done within years of youth. Mostly in whatever sport, the average year of retirement is 35. And the chances that you will make money within those 35 years are extremely very low. So it's an extremely risky investment. Because after 35 years of age, if you don't make enough money, you're still pretty young and you have many years to live. If you did not develop any other skill, at that age, it's also very difficult for you to be able to learn new skills. So it's not foolish to play safe by investing in knowledge and skills that you can apply or you can use to gain income, perhaps throughout your lifespan. Another thing with some sports is that it occupies a lot of time. For you to be a pro athlete, you might need to use 24/7 of your time. You will need to be practicing rigorously for you to be able to be a pro athlete, to reach that level that you can at least be able to monetize your skills or earn handsomely from your skills. Some people use all the time and never make anything out of it. In fact, a majority, even though they are very talented. How about music? Music, even for those who are talented, is not a field that is very easy for people to make money in. It's not as easy as much as we have more channels of making money through music in today's world, especially through social media like YouTube and even streaming channels like Spotify. Still, it is a rigorous process, especially if you come from poor countries. You cannot earn straight away from just the fact that you can sing. You will need to be super talented and practice for a period of time and sing for a long period of time before you can be recognized. Meanwhile, you will need to eat. That makes that career very challenging. So, I would rather you set up your children. You'd rather set up your children in a way that they don't carry all their eggs in one basket, even if they're extremely talented in sports and music, but make sure that they are able to learn certain skills that can enable them to earn a living throughout their life. For example, they can learn how to cook, be an electrician, something that will be needed forever, something that is a basic need of the human race. Certain skills like music and sports are also part and parcel of the human race, but they're meant to spice life up, but they're not the basic human needs. Tapping into the basic human needs is more profitable in the long run. That's my take.